Hey, hi. Hey, what's up everyone? My name's Dr. Weeze, and yeah, thanks for tuning into my OC channel. Tonight, very quickly, I've got the Maximus, what's it now? Maximus IX Apex, is it? Yeah, 9. So we're up to the Z270 motherboard, and if you watched last night, you'll know that I got LN2 delivered yesterday. I'm really keen to get going with the 7700K and the Apex board and LN2, but before I can do LN2, I have to do a little bit of preparation work on the board, and that means I have to do a little bit of basic intro to the board and show you what it looks like, just for the sake of getting it done. So let's go ahead and cross over to the system view, and let's have a look at what we've got going on. So very quickly, I've got the incorrect hardware that's being used here, so I'm just going to go and change that to Maximus 8 Apex. Right, so I've had this board sitting in the OC lab for probably 2 weeks now, and you know, I just haven't had the time to get through and do anything with it yet. It's been one of those like Christmas moments where you've had to have a look at the presents underneath the tree for a couple of weeks, and you know, you can't touch them, and you have to wait until Christmas morning. Well, Christmas morning has finally arrived now, and tomorrow I plan on using liquid nitrogen to give my first taste, or my first touch of the Z270 with liquid nitrogen. I haven't had the opportunity to play with any Z270, and I hope I've got a nice chip that will do pretty well. Right, so let's go have a look at the box now. This is my first full retail Asus ROG board that I've had since Z97. So the first thing when this arrived, I got quite excited about, was the packaging. Now ROG, really, they never disappoint with the packaging, and it's really of a nice print. But that's not what got me excited, not the pictures, not the details. What really got me excited was the actual design of the box. I mean, just it slides open, it flips open. It's got this nice little it's presented really well, and it really makes you feel like what you've spent money on, you know, is you got your value for money just out of the packaging. I like fell in love with it. I don't know if it's been like that for other generations or for other boards, but when I opened that, I was like really impressed, and I thought it was worth a mention. So just very quickly before we continue, I am monitoring the chat on Twitch only, so I am streaming to YouTube, Facebook, and YouTube, Facebook, and to Twitch, but I can only monitor the chat on Twitch. So yeah, just hook us up there if you're wanting to ask any questions. I do love interacting with everyone, so yeah, let me know. Alright, so I just got one private message on Twitch. I was just having a look at there. Why you're not allowed, I don't know what that was in connection with, so I'll check that out later afterwards. So let's continue with this. Right, so the first thing was the box. I really did like the box, and let's go ahead and just take off the plastic sleeve now. One of the things that Asus did, or ROG did with this, was supply you with little name tags that you can customize. So I've gone ahead and made my little customized name tag, and we can just show that up there. So I've got my name on a motherboard. I feel like I've arrived, but it's just a little customized name tag. So the Apex itself is of a unique design, so I believe it is the first board that got an X PCB. So it's not a square PCB, and you can sort of see that in the design on these corners here. So it's not a standard square X PCB, it's of an X shape, and that's supposed to be, you know, something to do with the Apex. So that's really cool. But let's go ahead and just have a look at what else is in the box. So you got the name tag, things that you can customize. Included was a sticker sheet, which was pretty cool of them. So as overclockers, you all like to customize our flasks and, you know, make things look busy and exciting. I've used this credit card, one on my gym membership card. I get a lot of skew looks when I go to gym. The aunties don't recognize the card, they're Virgin Active. So what else we get? We get a nice little coaster that can actually come out of the box and be part of the bench room. Driver CD with badge. This is the first time as well that the badge is of a new shape. So if we have a look at the little badge that you get given with it, it's actually got square edges. Now that's also something new, which I haven't seen before. The old ones, if I can find one here somewhere, was rounded, shaped like a badge, you know, the good old shield type thing. So it's pretty much like that shape, but that's not what I was looking for. So I quite like that. It's a little bit of variation. It's not just the same old all the time. We've got a user manual, which I will eventually have a look through, and then we've got some SATA cable labels. So that would be if you're wanting to identify both ends of a SATA cable or something to that effect. You'd mark both sides with a color. For connectors, we've got a ROG SLR HB bridge. Okay, so I've now finally got an HB bridge in the OC lab to test the SLR with. Revealing underneath some of the pockets in the box. That's just a protective sheet, and we've got a protective bag. I had 2 CPUs that I put into that bag while I was transporting. Let's just have a look at these quick connectors. What is this now? This is an LED RGB connect cable. So that would be to obviously connect up any RGB lighting. For instance, I've got this like a ROG RGB lighty thing here. So I can sync my motherboard RGB with this RGB on the bench table here using that cable. A CPU installation tool. So if you delid your CPU, you can install it and then put the lid on afterwards to keep it all straight with that tool. We've got 2 SATA cables, a quick connector, and on this side we should have a few other goodies. We've got some M.2 connector thingies, some more SATA cables, a backplate, and then something which I thought was pretty cool. Instead of having M.2 on the actual motherboard, so a lot of the boards, they're putting M.2 here in between the PCI Expresses and all that sort of stuff. With the Apex, they've gone away from that purely, I'm guessing maybe because they know that we're using liquid nitrogen. This board is designed for overclocking, and I should imagine that the reason why they've done that is to, when we're doing video card overclocking, a lot of moisture and condensation gets down in this area, Vaseline, whatever, and they've moved the M.2 away onto this daughter board. You can plug the 2 M.2s on there, and then it actually plugs into this DIMM slot next to your memory slots. And I've got a couple of M.2 drives, so I will be testing that out as well in due time. I quite like that idea, and you can put cooling, when you cool your memory, you can cool your M.2 at the same time. You know, like the G-Skills, for instance, come with that extra fan that you can clip on. It's just something different. I haven't seen any other manufacturer coming up with any sort of smart ideas like that. I really like it. And yeah, so looking at the Apex board, well, it's a full-sized motherboard with only 2 DIMM slots, and this is all now around the memory efficiency and overclocking, which is really great. There's a lot of individual features on here, which I'm not going to go into the details right now, because this is just a quick introduction, and then I'm going to put some nail polish onto a few of the resistors for the USB, and then we're going to slap it full of Vaseline tomorrow before we go with some LN2. And yeah, I'm really excited to really give this a try. So let me stop yabbering and actually get on with it. What I'm going to do is close this box, put some foam down, and then I'm just going to put a coating of nail polish onto those resistors and call it a day. And right, so let's just have a look if we've got any comments on the chat. And no comments. I see my frame rate is a little low at the moment. And I think I might have forgotten to go live on Facebook. Yeah, I forgot to go live on Facebook. So Okay, so right, so very quickly for those of you who have just joined me on Facebook, I'm having a quick look at the Maximus IX Apex. It's the overclocking board for the Z270 range from ROG at the moment. It is specifically designed for extreme overclocking and for gamers and high performance. 2 DIMM slots for great memory efficiencies. There's been some really great scores coming out of this at all. Up to now, there's customized nameplates that everybody can make. So it's got the whole RGB effect behind it. So you can buy the board, you can customize the nameplate to be your nickname, whatever the case might be, and RGB that. So it's really nice and customizable. Your gaming rig, your overclocking rig, everything else looks great. So I went through a few things. I forgot to go live on Facebook, so just go and check out the replay tomorrow if you want to see all of what I had to say. I just had a quick look through what was in the box, and that was basically it. What I'm going to do now is I want to put Vaseline on this board as preparation for liquid nitrogen. I plan to do LN2 overclocking tomorrow night and on the weekend with the Apex. But before we do that, there's a few things I need to do just to prepare. So there have been a few reported issues with USB dropping out when using Vaseline. And Elmore posted on HWBot today that what you should do is you remove the Vaseline, heat the chip up, and then the functionality comes back. But as a step to prepare for LN2, I'm going to use nail polish on that chip, on that resistor, or it's a fuse, or it's one of the components, to actually isolate it or insulate it from the Vaseline that I'll be putting on tomorrow. And you will locate them. There is a diagram on HWBot that identifies which of the resistors you need to sort out, and I've just gone ahead and I'm going to put some nail polish on it, and I'm just using a quick dry, no fuss sort of clear nail varnish, and that will just then seal it. It's like a conformal coating almost. And yeah, board will be then stripped of the heat sinks, a good coating of Vaseline put on, and ready to rock and roll for LN2. So that's about it, and that's my first real look at the Apex board. I really like the packaging, and I know it's such a silly thing to be excited about, and I should be excited about the actual board, but I'm excited about the performance of the board and the features of the board. Cold bug free overclocking is going to be something that I haven't experienced in a long time. And what also makes it really exciting, I've got a great motherboard and I've got a great processor. Well, I think I bought a great processor. We'll see once I've tested it, but I paid a little bit of extra and I bought a pre-bin chip from Hazan. So it should be all of the frustration that comes out of trying to bin chips and testing 30 bad chips to find one good chip. All of that sort of frustration should be gone with KB Lake, and really that's great because I don't have a lot of time to bench this platform. And I've really got to do benching in between nappy changes and feeding times. So that makes it really exciting. Anyway, so let's just quickly go over some of the functionality of this board. So there are 3 jumpers down here by the SATA cables. So those jumpers control the the RGB affecting light effects. So we've got your light bar 2, light bar 1, and M.2 light. So the M.2 light would be the light here by my Dr. Weeze. So in order to enable that, we just have to then change the jumper. And there's a lot of great documentation available on the ROG fan site, the ROG forum site as well, that detail a lot of the functionality. I haven't gone through and done a lot of reading about it yet because I'm more of a jump and feed first and bench and then run into problems and diagnose the problems, then to go and do a whole bunch of reading and to figure, I like to just figure stuff out on the fly. Right, so I've switched that jumper. We got the bias switch jumper, pretty standard stuff. One thing I did really like when reading the documentation was we've got a full powered fan header. So normally, like in the old days, we had to go and set the fan speed to 100% for LN2. There wasn't a quick and easy way of just always having a fan on 100% other than going through the BIOS. On this board, they've got a fan header that's always at 100%. So if you plug into there, you're going to get full speed fan all the time. There's also another full speed fan header at the top here. So wherever you see a white fan header, that should be a full speed fan. Right. You've got your standard ROG functionality on this board. So you've got your pause, you've got your Allen 2 jumpers and Allen 2 mode jumpers, the one in the corner here. And then there's new functionality on this board. What's it? RSV something something. Hold on, I'll tell you now. It's RSVD cold bud boot fix. So apparently what that does, it removes your cold boot bug when you colder than -130, which we suffered from with Skylake. And that I haven't used the functionality. Don't ask me how it works. I won't try and explain it, but from what I've read, it solves the problem, and other manufacturers haven't managed to do that. You got your OC retry button and your safe boot. Okay, so those are your memory overclocking tools. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and say thanks for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow night with some hopefully Allen 2 benching, using the Apex, using 7700K from Intel, and yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be doing it all live, no pre-testing, no offline testing. It's just going to be me making an ass of myself. So make sure that you subscribe to get notification of when I go live, and you can always check out all my replays are on YouTube. So that's youtube.com/Dr. Weeze. Yep, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to post any questions you might have on my Facebook page. Always happy to interact with you guys, and until next time, happy benching. Wait a minute, hold on. Before I actually say goodbye, I do see that I've got some guys tuning in. Hey George, hey, it should be. I won't try and pronounce it right now. I'm working on about 3 hours sleep last night. But anyway, yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. I am about to say cheers. Apex unboxed. Vaseline's going on shortly, and we'll see you live tomorrow night. Again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you all then. Cheers.